magazine of the screens. Living glimpses of history in the making. Presented as a public service by Standard Oil Company.
Granite Wright Brothers Monument, rising out of the sandy, wind-racked wastes at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, marks the birthplace of Howard Wright. Aviation has traveled fast and far in the eventful years since the moment of Orville Wright's first flight in 1903. From then to now, the history of aviation has been a record of magnificent achievement. America, first to conquer the air, has given wings to the world. Eyes can only marvel at new jets streaking man at supersonic speeds on his skyward course. The Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, they were first to master the invisible sea of swirls and currents, which seemed determined to batter down anything that tried to fly. Their story began, however, far from Kitty Hawk, in Dayton, Ohio, where they had lived since boyhood. Here, the Wrights, without even a high school education, were first gripped with the dream of building a machine that would fly. Daily, Orville and Wilbur were seen striding briskly along Hawthorne Street to and from their white frame house. Poring over every available book on the theory of flight, they lived in this typical turn-of-the-century American home. Its simple, modest setting reflected their tastes, revealing clues to the character of the two shy, obscure brothers. Yet in less than a decade of study and experiment, they were to solve a mystery which had challenged man for centuries. Down the street from their house was the Wright Cycle Company, where they sold, repaired, and later manufactured their own bicycles. Here, too, the brothers, who already had made hundreds of successful glider flights, built the world's first airplane. Night after night, they labored in their crude laboratory. When the odd little machine was finished, they went to barren, lonely Kitty Hawk to see if it would fly. The Wright brothers' hangar and workshop have been rebuilt in authentic detail. Inside, tools hang as they did a half-century ago, and neatly arranged, too, is their combination kitchen, pantry, and dining room. A boulder marks the spot where man first flew. An early vintage airplane recalls that historic moment during the golden anniversary celebration of flight at Kitty Hawk. Billy Parker, one of America's pioneer airmen, prepares to take off in the sky flivver he built in 1915 and has been flying ever since. A relic of the past takes us back 50 years. Orville Wright was but 32, and his brother Wilbur had left 36, when in 12 airborne seconds at Kitty Hawk, they changed the course of human history. Here, Wilbur readies their plane for a takeoff. No movie cameraman filmed the epic first flight of this homemade machine with its 12-horsepower engine. These pictures were made a short time later. Theodore Roosevelt, in a precarious perch beside the pilot, became the first president to fly. The old Rough Rider's enthusiastic reaction converted many skeptics to aviation. Soon water was being used for takeoffs and landings as the first seaplanes took to the sky. America's foremost aviatrix was Ruth Law, one of 7 U.S. women pilots licensed before World War I. Her aerial exploits electrified the country in an era when the ladies did not even have the right to vote. With the increasing use of aircraft, factories began turning them out in large numbers. World War I accelerated man's conquest of the air. Combat planes had to be speedy and sturdy to survive in dogfights with the enemy. The first airmail service was an important development during the last year of the war. Army pilots flew the initial route from New York to Philadelphia and Washington. In 1919, Navy flying boats blazed an aerial trail across the Atlantic, starting a series of flights which would have changed man's concepts of time and space. Billy Mitchell, a prophet before his time, believed bomb-carrying planes could sink naval ships. In 1921, he arranged an amazing demonstration of air power. Army planes dumped their bombs on obsolete battleships. Mortally wounded, one of the ships slid out of sight. The first naval vessel sunk from the air. The others followed soon after. Billy Mitchell was right. Commander Richard E. Byrd and Floyd Bennett launched a new era of geographical discovery with their first great polar exploration flight in 1926. Leaving Kings Bay, Spitsbergen, in a tri-motored transport, the two aerial adventurers flew to the North Pole, now below, and back in 16 hours. Many others were to follow the sky trails of the first man to fly over both the North Pole and the South Pole, Admiral Byrd.